My name is Couch Coop, and I doubt all of you are going to know who this guy is. I'm going to start the video with a slightly depressing and irrelevant tangent. This is Ethan, and I discovered Ethan many moons ago. He was one of the sort of original reactors. He's gone through quite a metamorphosis, and I want to make the point that I feel content and social media content, particularly around gaming or anything that's reactionary based, has kind of plateaued of late. It all looks the same. It's all recycled. So I laid in one of my classic comments, also signed it. Just want to read it to you. I will timestamp. Very few big name creators make anything from scratch now. It is all descending commentary on something or someone that already existed. The creation aspect has gone. It's very sad. I think a lot of it is due to the scary YouTube algorithm preference and the masses just following that without question. Our youth are literally told what to watch by a machine. I first found Ethan during a react video to a horrendous cover of Biggie Smalls' It Was All a Dream. Must have been around 10 years ago now. It was hilarious, raw and straight from the heart. I don't recognize any of these people now, iDubbbz included. Social media has stifled the original thought. The desert is now vast. Where there is ruin, there is great treasure. It's an open door for someone or something fresh. Regards, Couch Coop. I see a huge window of opportunity for some of you young'uns who want to come through with something new, something fresh, because this desert desperately needs an oasis. Our story starts with Lost in Random, the original game. Didn't know it was a thing. 2021, I think, still available on Steam and still under heavy discount. This is the Eternal Die. This came out in February from Storm Teller Games. Now this is my ideal sweet spot, an almost AA indie, symmetric with a few little cheeky nods to roguelikes, even Souls-likes. Is it Couch Coop, Couch Co-op? Is it local co-op, local coop? Why are you talking about a video game that is not split screen? Throughout this video review, I'm going to drop names and footage of ideal local co-op games that kind of feature in this vein. And the first thing I'll say about Lost in Random is it's got some of the most unforgiving spikes through the ground mechanics I've seen since the legendary Children of Mortar. Yes, you heard me correctly, Children of Mortar. One of the finest local co-op isometric indies on the planet, full stop. Just look at the speed and the flow of this thing, and everything is mapped out on that controller to make it super easy for you to get your head around everything super fast. You've got that dodge on A or X, that's super important. Your thumb rests on that, and of course you can lean into the melee attacks, they're not on the shoulder buttons. The selling point is the B button or circle, which throws this little dice out. It's like a grenade. It's a one-shot use until you pick it up again, but it can be buffed, and it is kind of a guaranteed knockback on a lot of the enemies. It's very handy in early game, but you soon realize that it's one of the multiple strings to your bow that you have as a formidable force within this game model. This is an excellent video game, by the way. Spoilers, I've already let that one out 3 minutes. I think a lot of you will be able to tell if this is your thing or not from literally seeing a couple of minutes of footage. And if it is your thing, it's going to be important to what's behind this model to give it longevity, to keep you coming back. Is there roguelike elements? What's parallel with it? It borrows from a randomly generated set of tiles up in the top right there. You will see that a lot in other indie games of this vein. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Some of the more famous, probably Enter the Gungeon. Absolutely stellar. Award-winning twin stick. And we've had had a sort of third one in the works mentioned, so excited about that. Scourgebringer had a really good map system like this. So what I mean is the boss will move, you're not too sure what room has got what in it, and you'll find traders, merchants, different things depending on what tile is revealed. So there is definitely a roguelike element when you start exploring. It's also very one run and done. There is not a lot of health replenished. We'll get into that in a second. If you've dabbled in the old moon scars, you might be aware of how a system like this works, with giving you a minor bit of choice in what direction you want to go in with buff. So the reward at the end of the bout comes through, and it's a color-coded cube that you put into a set of other cubes, and if you line 3 of them up, they sort of blend and throw some stats onto the section that you've coordinated. So I think red is attack. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can group together to make sure that you get a buff pointed in a particular direction. It's quite a genius system because you're thinking about where to put the blocks down. It's like a mini Connect 4 game snuck into the loot system.
Let's see if you can roll higher. Lady Luck smiles upon you.
Some cubes will have more than one colour on them, so marrying them up is a little bit easier. You've also got the chance to not take it and hold the gold instead. That becomes quite important. Like most games of this vein, the merchant prior to a boss, if you've got the coin, can actually offer you quite a heavy reward against using all these little cubes. That will make more sense in a second. Look at these spikes. You did just see a minor freeze just then, and I do need to remind myself to do this at the start of the video. This is available on PlayStation 5, Switch, Steam, and of course Game Pass. So the PC's having a little issue. This game has only been out on Game Pass for literally 2 days, I think. Performance wise, extremely happy though. It's crisp as hell, looks absolutely great, and sounds incredible. This gameplay is so embarrassingly terrible to watch. I think I can do this guy with my eyes semi-shut now. You really do evolve frighteningly quickly with that moveset, and that brings me over to the special, the glorious Hallelujah special on triangle or Y. Every fresh game, you were given a new special in the form of a card. You pick it up before you even go into your first bout, and I haven't had a repeat just yet. I've got some favourites though. Now, it was sort of baffling me a little bit because I was using it and it wasn't seemingly that devastating, but there was a funny little symbol coming up. Some of them have got AoE arcs on, and I was just like, wow, this is just a whole massive rabbit hole that I really need to get used to. Turns out it's a timed push. You keep your finger on it and release when that gold card comes up to give you a perfect edition of that special. It's a genius idea, and it's not too brain crowding because this is quite hectic in the combat scenarios. Here's that trader I was talking about, by the way. Everyone's got really good voiced English accents. It doesn't seem forced at all. I do love the NPCs in the game, and they all join you back in the hub a la Dark Souls. How dare you mention that game?
I tell ya, makes saving up for that big pension a whole lot easier.
It's almost got like a Box Trolls thing going on, right? With some of its aesthetic. That's a great stop motion film. Is it local co-op? No. It isn't. So this special is sort of like a purple orb that sort of flies out front, and I hadn't quite got my head round getting its optimum form going, but it's still fun to experiment with them all. One of the first things you do when you go into a new area with a new special is just start seeing how that thing works. So So the environment needs to be taken into account. You cannot fall off any ledges. That's all superficial. It's just mapped out areas of the map that you can step into. But all that fire you're seeing and all of those spikes coming up, enemies can be pushed into them, and that's where throwing the die comes into technique, because that's a knockback. Some of the specials will also push a baddie back onto spikes or into some fire, but nothing can be shoved off the edge. Please observe, if you can, my weapon. I am only using a swinging sword at the moment. By the way, there is only one attack key, but you do have a build. It's pretty important. Again, that does have an AoE on it, but the whole time you're standing still in this game, which is what's required to build, you are extremely vulnerable. This game has got like 5 different weapon types, and they are all available to you early doors. That's what the reward scheme kind of revolves around. At the end of each bout, you do get a choice. You can either have money to repurchase a part of your build on your next run, or you can shove it into like a forge guy who's going to give that weapon you're carrying a massive boost, or allow you to open another one. Yes, we do have range. Yes, we do have a spear. This game is doing nothing wrong at all. This is a mid-tier boss fight, a souped up version of those projectile enemies, and yes, they mix the level up a bit, making it a bit maze-like. They teleport around, you do have to be concentrating, and there is a slight lean on a better reward at the end of this. They do this a lot, it's quite unpredictable, and I really enjoyed fighting some of the beefier versions of your standard enemies. Here's some bow and arrow footage, and it is just the same control scheme, but of course the build gives you that added sniper-like range. I was playing Curse of the Gods this time, maybe last year. It was probably about 2 years ago, but I definitely got the feels with that I have with this, but this is just so much more hectic and so much more busy. So if you're anything like me with these games, your early experiences, you kind of take a few hits, you don't really mind. You're just sort of liking that novelty. It's only when you start getting really into it that a single hit on the second or first room just devastates you. It doesn't take anything major off your health, but you're just like, it's got to be perfect. I've got to get to that first boss without a single bit taken off my health bar.
Welcome, welcome. Prizes on every throw.
And that's where the replenish gets you. There is some luck perks, but at the end of some bouts you'll be offered like a 30% boost in health. And if you've really screwed up, you've got to take it. You cannot take that money or that crimson stone. And it's heartbreaking because you're like, I screwed up. I've got to pay for it now. I'm going to the boss with a full health bar, but with absolutely nothing else. It's quite a genius psychology. It really makes you conserve that health and make sure you're using that spend at the end of the bouts to make yourself more powerful. So this special on the Y button or triangle has actually got a bunch of chunks. You can see them down there, they're gold or yellow. That replenishes on delivering damage, but some of them are just one hit and that's all. So they really need to be timed correctly, but slightly more devastating on their outcome. And talking of being devastated,
Wait,
I'm not...
what?
Yeah, you're a stranger.
You're...
Yes.
And now... Right.
some of the rooms are like, no thanks, casual, be gone. This is a tough game and you're going to learn those rules right now. Didn't you mention a local co-op equivalent of this? I did, and it's not as difficult and it's far more story rich, but it is of course Figment 2.
The sprouts are spitty around here.
The hog's bloom is corrupting everything. Don't let it hit you, buddy.
This is very story focused, however, and the other player does not have the involvement that player 1 does. If you want something even more in the vein of Lost in Random, then look no further than the Cult of the Lamb. Same map system, deep loot mechanics, bosses at the end, a huge sort of hub and emphasis on base building and NPCs. This one's a humdinger. Coop, where are you getting all of these amazing standalone local co-op reviews from? The channel's homepage has a playlist featuring my most recent standalone local co-op and split screen game reviews. I strongly recommend you check it out. Can you let me know if you've played Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, and what boss you are stuck on? My name was, of course, Couch Coop, and I will see you down there.
Broken die, always broken.
Yeah, he had me up until that bit with the woman's ass. No need for that in this day and age.